guess what? Today I'm going to show you how to make the Everything is Awesome bracelet on one loom. Yay! And I'll admit that it does have quite a few transfers, and I myself do not like transfers, so I'm going to try and make all of them as quick and painless as possible. But this is still an advanced bracelet, and you definitely want to have some experience before attempting to make it. So, here we go. Everything is awesome on one loom. To set up your loom for this bracelet, the only thing that you need to do is just make sure that you've got 2 bar pins, and they are both in line with each other, and that the base is nice and secure, and you can get started. So, first, take whichever color you want your first brick to be. I'm going to be using black and gray for my bricks with a white outline. And you're going to make a cap band. Place it across the first 2 pegs. Take another cap band. Place it across these 2 pegs. And then make a triple cap band, like so. And you're going to place it on the center peg right here. And then you're going to make another triple cap band so that you will have 2 triple cap bands on this same peg. And now you can turn your loom a bit so you can get into this peg and grab the top cap band and pull it to itself, and then grab the other one and pull it to itself as well. And then you can carefully take this part off the loom and then move the 4 ends on this peg over to this peg. Now stick your hook in this peg and pull it over, and now you're going to take 2 of that same color, place them across those first 2 pegs, and do the same thing, doubled bands right here. Oh, that was a cheap band. And place them on here. And you're going to grab these bands right here and carefully pull them over, like so, and do the same thing with the other side. Pull them over. So you should just have 2 bands on each of your pegs at this point. Now you're going to take some more of that same color, using doubled bands, go on these 2 pegs, and on these 2 pegs, and then you're going to repeat the process again. Stud, bands, stud, bands, just like that. So, again, what you're going to do is start with a cap band, place another cap band here, and then put 2 triple cap bands on this peg here. So, 1, 2, 3, triple capped. Place it on that peg, grab another one, 1, 2, 3, and that same peg. Turn your loom around a bit, go into those 2 triple cap bands that we've just placed, grab your first cap band and pull it to itself, and then grab the other one. Now take this off, and then move your bands back to here. Spread it across these pegs. Now you're going to take some more double bands. And get the hair out of your bracelet. And take these 4 ends, and they're going to be pretty tight, so be gentle. And make sure to be careful not to take your doubled bands off when you bring this over. And now place some more doubled bands here and here. So now you're going to start with your next color. Since I'm going to be using gray, I'm going to place the cap band here, triple cap bands, and spread it out and all that stuff. So you're pretty much going to make this little pattern here 2 more times until you get to the end of the loom. So I'll show you the next step once I've done that. As you can see, I have filled up my loom using this same pattern 2 more times. Make sure that your loom looks like this. Make sure nothing's tangled up. And you can grab your border color, whichever color you would like that to be. And starting down here, you are just going to place 1 across each of these pegs.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when we're living our dream.
Alright, there's one last thing we need to do before we can start looping, and that is place some cap bands right here. So grab some of whichever color this brick happens to be, and you're going to make a triple cap band and place it on this peg. Make another one and place it on this peg. Now you're ready to turn your loom around and we can begin looping. Now this is pretty simple stuff. All you're going to do is go into this cap band here, grab the 2 bands on the bottom and loop it up, and do the same thing here. Just go into all those bands and grab the one on the very bottom and loop it up, and this is what you're going to do all the way up to the top here on both of your bar pins. So I will show you our next step once you've got that finished. Alright, once you've got all that looped up, you just have one thing left to do, and we're going to secure these 2 ends here. And so you're going to do that by taking a band of a color that is not in your bracelet, and you're going to stick your hook into that peg. Stick your hook out so that you can pull your pink band up, and you can then place the other end on your hook, and then create a slip knot by pulling one end through the other and pull that tight. And you're going to do that again for this peg. So stick your hook in there, pull one end through, retrieve the other end, and then create a slip knot. And now you can go back here and begin taking this off the loom. And there you go, your first little segment of your bracelet. So next, you're going to, starting here, fill up your loom exactly like we did at the beginning, just with the stud and then the bands and stud and bands all the way up here. And we're going to be attaching this segment here up at the top from here, so you can determine what color you need to start with. I've got black here, so I'll have gray and then black and then gray. So I need to start with gray here, and if you need to rewind this video and go back to the beginning to see this explained again, you can do that, but it's exactly the same as it was before. And then we'll put this on once you're done with that. Once you've done that, you're going to go back to the beginning of your loom and fill it up with these white bands, just like before. Just across 2 pegs.
It's better when we stick together. Side by side, you and I gonna win forever. Let's party forever. We're the same, I'm like you, you like me.
And stop here. The next thing that we're going to do is take our little segment here, and we're going to attach it upside down right here. So the first thing we're going to need to do is identify the topmost pair of bands, and these are the ones that we're going to place on the loom first. As you can see, you've got your Lego studs on this side, so you're going to take the bands that are closest to this side and place them on first. So grab those and place them on your loom on either side. And now, before you place your next bands on, you're going to place a white band right here and push down on that. Now you've got your bands that are left that have not been put on yet. So these two. So once you've gotten all 4 of the bands that were on your little pink band, you can break that, and pull it out of your bracelet. There we go. So now we are ready to turn our loom around and begin looping. So you're just going to go in here into all those bands and grab the 2 on the bottom, pull them out and loop them back up to here. Do the same thing on this other side. Grab those bottom 2, pull them up. Now we're just going to go up the loom just like we did before with our easy normal stitch, and after that I'll show you the next step. So at this point, if you have a smaller wrist, then this may be long enough to go around your entire wrist, and if so, you can go ahead and clip these 4 ends and these 4 ends and take it off and make the other half of your bracelet. But I am going to continue on to make just one more brick, make this a little bit longer so it's comfortable around my wrist. So you're going to do the same thing as before for the transfer. Take your pink band and make a slip knot on both of these pegs. And then you can go back and take all this off. And then after this, you're going to do the same thing again, where you just create one more little brick. If you're deciding to make it a little bit longer, you can go ahead and see if this fits around your wrist. it almost fits around my wrist, but not quite. So I'm going to add one more little section here. And so if you are going to do that as well, you can determine what color you need. I'm going to need black. And you're not going to start at the beginning. You're going to go way up here and count back. Remembering your pattern, you're going to have band, stud, band, stud. So you're going to start right here, building your stud. And remember that starts with a cap band. And so I'm just going to make this last brick and show you what comes next. So I've made my little brick and I'm ready for the transfer. So it's going to be just like last time with the bracelet upside down. Place the bottom band on your loom. And then before you place the other two, put your white band on there. And then you can place the remaining bands. And then you can remove the pink bands.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team. Everything is awesome.
And now I can turn it around and loop up these here.
3, 2, 1, go. Have you heard the news? Everyone's talking. Life is good cause everything's awesome. Lost my job, that's a new opportunity. More free time for my awesome community. I feel more awesome than an awesome possum. Dip my body in chocolate frosting. 3 years later I shot the frosting. Smelling like a blossom, everything is awesome. Stepped in mud, got new brown shoes. Awesome to win.
And now you can take your C-clips and clip the 4 ends that are on each peg. I got them, yay. And now you can take the entire thing off your loom. Ta-da! And now it should go all the way around my wrist. And to make the other half, we're going to start just like before. And that means that we're going to start with black, gray, black. And you're going to place those up your loom. Remember, starting with a stud, and then your bands, stud bands, etc. And then we're going to do something different for the white bands. We're going to use them to connect this to the other half. So I'll show you how to do that once you've filled up your loom. So once you've got your loom filled up with 3 of these little bricks, you are going to take 2 more bands of this brick's color and place triple cap bands on the end here. And then we are ready to begin transferring. So, as you can see on your little completed half, you've got the cap bands over here, and remember that the bracelet comes off the loom upside down, so this is how it's going to be lined up. And starting with this first white band, we're going to place it across these 2 pegs, and then grab the next one and put it on these 2 pegs, and you're going to go down the line, connecting these with their respective pegs over here. And once you've gotten about halfway, you can go ahead and come back here to start looping. You're just going to go into that cap band and loop up just like before, just like normal.
Everything is better when we stick together. Side by side, you and I gonna win forever. Let's party forever. We're the same, I'm like you, you're like me. We're all working in harmony.
And once you've gotten it loomed about that far, you can place your fingers firmly on these last ones so you don't accidentally take it off. And then you can take this off the loom. And then if everything is a success, you should be able to see your first little brick here come out. Now we're going to continue with our little white bands up to the top of the loom.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team. Everything is awesome.
We're gonna stop here with this one for now, and you can go back here and loop up your band. So go into here, loom this up, and you're gonna do the same for this other side.
Blue skies, bouncy springs. We just named two awesome things. A Nobel Prize, a piece of string. You know what's awesome? Everything. Dogs and fleas. Allergies. A book of Greek antiquities. Brand new pants. A very old vest. Awesome items are the best. Trees, frogs, clogs. They're awesome. Rocks, clocks, and socks. They're awesome. Figs and jigs and twigs. That's awesome.
And now we're gonna do this pretty much just like before. Take your pink bands and make a slip knot on each of these pegs. Secure those bands. And now you can take this whole section off of the loom. And you can straighten it up and see your bracelet begin to take shape. And if you've got a weird white thing sticking through like this, you can pull on the other ends of that band to make that go away, and just straighten those out. And we're ready for our next one. So we're going to be making this section next. So that's gray, black, gray. So I'm going to start with gray and then black and then gray, just like before, and then we'll apply this weird looking thing to this part of the bracelet. The loom is now filled up and we're ready for our next transfer. So start by taking the first bands that you are going to place on your loom and place them on there. And now, before you place the other two that are being held by your little pink bands, you're going to grab your next white band and you're going to place it on these first two pegs. And now you can grab your white or pink bands and put the other bands that need to be transferred onto the loom.
Is awesome.
And now you're ready to start placing your white bands across here. And you're going to go about halfway up. Then you can begin looping. So go into all those bands, grab the one on the bottom and loop it up. And make sure that you stop where you stopped putting the white bands on. And go back and do it on the other side as well. Now, just like before, you can make sure that you keep these very firmly secured and take this part off of the loom up to here, and your bracelet starts coming up, and there's that pink band right there that I need to get rid of, and there we go. And you can straighten that all up if necessary. And now you can continue to place your white bands. And now you can loop up to the top.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when we live in our dream. Everything is better when we stick together. Side by side, you and I.
Just like before, grab your pink bands and secure the ends with a slip knot. And if it comes off like that, as long as you got those 4 ends secured, then that's fine. And you can take this off the loom. Now, if you stopped there, you actually could clip these ends instead of using pink bands, but since I made mine a little bit longer, I'm gonna need to make one more brick, and I'm gonna make that black to match this one. And remember, you're gonna count back with your pattern, band, stud, so you'll start right here and do that. And it's gonna be the exact same thing as before, with the transfer and everything. So I'm going to do that real quick, and we'll finish our bracelet. So now this is the same thing as before. You're just going to take these top bands and place them on your loom. Then come up here and grab your next white band, place it across these two, and make sure your pink bands are out of the way. And then use your pink bands to identify the bands that need to be placed on the loom next. and then you can place the rest of your white bands on here. And then you can come loop this up. Now, you just need to clip these two ends here. So grab 2 more C-clips. And once you've got those all clipped, you can take your bracelet off the loom. And there it is, your completed Everything is Awesome bracelet. You can bring this around and clip the other end. You're just going to attach this to the 3 ends of the cap bands over here. So, if you've made it this far, congratulations. You are awesome, and you now have an Everything is Awesome bracelet. So, if you like this video, subscribe to Epic Bracelets, tell your friends, share this video, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for more epic and awesome bracelets coming soon. Thanks for watching.
Everything is awesome.